My name is Heather, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you my review of the book The Trap by Ava Glass. This one took me a while to read, and not because the book was exceptionally long or difficult to read or because it wasn't good. It's just because I was really tired during the 3 weeks, I guess, that I had it, and I was having trouble reading at night. I had to finish the last 8 to 10 chapters sitting here today to be able to finish it in time. I actually ended up being blown away by how much I liked this book. I'm actually going to give this 5 out of 5. I got teary at the end, and if something makes me cry, whether it be a book or a movie, that's an automatic 5 out of 5. So this is the third in a series, and I did read the other 2 books. This is a series of spy novels. The author's name is Ava Glass, but they tell you in the author portion that that is a pseudonym. That's not her real name. And I actually do wonder, based on the quality of the writing in this book, if she actually is or was some type of intelligence agent for the British government. It says that she is a former crime reporter and civil servant. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it is a pseudonym, and she is from England. This series started out with the book Alias Emma, and then the second novel was The Traitor, and the third one was The Trap, which I just finished. Let me start out by talking a little bit about the first novel, Alias Emma. Alias Emma introduces the main character of these books, who is Emma Makepeace, and she's an intelligence officer for the agency. The agency is a super elite and super secretive intelligence agency that's even more secret and highly skilled than MI6. If you're an American and you're not familiar, they're not exactly the same, but the best parallel that I could give you is that the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States, is generally about the same as what MI5 is in the UK. And then the CIA, or Central Intelligence Agency in the United States, is kind of parallel to MI6, which you're probably familiar with if you've seen any James Bond movie. So MI6 is James Bond and spies and kind of more international, and MI5 is more domestic and kind of like the FBI. And she is supposedly an intelligence officer for a even more secretive agency than that. Now, interestingly, this doesn't give anything away, but Emma Makepeace is not her real name. Her real name is Alexandra, and she's actually Russian. She came to London when she was still in her mother's womb. Her mother was pregnant with her when she fled Russia and came to England. And her father, who is dead because he was killed by the Russians, was working as a spy for Great Britain, and that's why he was killed. So her father was trying to release information to the British and was killed, and so she absolutely hates the Russians, but she also speaks Russian because her mother is Russian. That's kind of the idea behind the character of Emma Makepeace in these books. The first book, Alias Emma, was really interesting. What caught my eye about it and why I decided to read it was the premise behind the plot, which was that the bad guys had infiltrated London's CCTV system. So they were able to watch and see her everywhere she went. And she had to get across London with this asset, or this person that they were trying to protect, who comes back briefly in this book. She actually sees him and talks to him a little bit in this book. It's a very brief scene. And she had to get this guy across all of London without being detected and hide from the people who were watching them. And it was really tricky. So that was the first book, and I really liked that one. Then the second one, I don't remember terribly well, but that one was good too. And then this is the third in the series. So the premise behind this one is that it starts out in London because that's where her agency is based. And there's an upcoming G7 conference or meeting going to be in Edinburgh in Scotland. They have chatter or they've heard there's a threat against the G7 summit. So they are going up there to try to figure out what's going on. I would say there's actually 3 stages to the novel. The first stage is kind of just their general overall as a team investigation of what is this threat to the G7 summit. The second portion of the novel, which the vast majority of it takes place in Edinburgh, is she is specifically assigned to get information from this one specific person. Emma has to get close to him and try to get information out of him. There's one brief little scene in Rome because she and this guy go to Rome very briefly and then they come back again. And then the third segment of the novel is kind of a traditional police investigation and a little bit of a manhunt. And that part definitely read the fastest, and that's the last part that I was reading just now. And that part was the part I enjoyed the most. And it kind of was also how Emma kind of temporarily at least got a partner. They partnered her up with a detective from the Edinburgh police, and they worked together. And she was really, not so keen on that at the beginning, but ended up really liking it. I'm always going to give you spoiler-free reviews, and obviously with a spy novel, it's going to be a lot more complex than anything I could reveal. There's not some big twist or something like a mystery or a thriller, but it was a solidly written and very interesting and very timely novel. If you like spy novels, you'll definitely like it. It was well written, good pacing, interesting case, good character development. I really liked it, so I would definitely give it 5 stars. I liked the setting. It was set in October of present day. They don't give a specific year, so it could have been any year. Very timely to things that are happening in our current society. And they definitely set it up for a 4th novel. So I'll be keeping my eyes out for that. I would also like to say that you would not necessarily have to read the first 2 books to read and enjoy this one. I really appreciate it when an author writes a series and in each book they tell you just enough, but don't take like forever to do it, that you kind of get the background that's important so that you can read it as a standalone novel without having to read any of the other books in the series. I think of it kind of like crime procedural shows where each individual episode is a good show itself, but if you watch the whole series, like additional things about the main characters and everything. And so there's that aspect of it too. It's kind of like that. You could totally read this book all by itself and totally enjoy it and wouldn't have to read the first 2. But if you want to get to know Emma and the other main characters in the agency that she works with and get a little bit more about her personal background and stuff, then yeah, you'd want to read the whole series. And it's a good series. So I would actually have to say that of the 3 novels so far, this one was my favorite. So if you just want to read one and check it out, I would read this one. I would read The Trap. But Alias Emma was also good, and The Traitor was also good. I mean, all 3 of them were good. So up to you. Read just one, read all 3. I guess I would recommend, though, if you were going to read just one, I would either read the first one, Alias Emma, or I would read this one. The Traitor has a little bit more to it that you kind of needed to read the first one to make that one make sense. But I would highly recommend this if you like well-paced, well-written, interesting spy novels. This is a good one, The Trap by Ava Glass. 5 out of 5 for me. Thanks for joining me for today's video. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming novels that I'm reading, subscribe to the channel. And if you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up down below. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.